Oh, I see some trouble. I don't like water being in here. Well, time to do some investigation. Got some water here too. I bet you that's coming from the fan room. I guess I'll take a peek in there. Gotta love the rain. Found our spot right there. Probably gonna that's our grip. Alright, let's go above that then. That's where the one lake is. I believe the other one is right here. We're right above the fan room for that. As we all know, it can look fine, but it's not. Probably take that cover off. See where it's coming through. Maybe right there. Yeah, the coating's filled right there. So we got an email recently after one of our previous videos where I talked a bit about just making sure that there's no water in the plumbing. And this email brought up a valid concern just about having fluids in the engine. And what's important to note is that these engines here, they've got two different loops, right? So there's the loop that has the raw water that comes in through the C valve here. It's a through hole. See, it goes through the hole. You can tell why they call it that. And then there is the freshwater loop, and that freshwater loop, there's the expansion tank here. And yeah, it's supposed to look like that. They put a baffle in there. And you can see that feeds there into the exhaust manifold. And that water loop is cooled through the heat exchangers using the raw water. Okay. Now there's one very important distinction here, is that on this ship we do not run fresh water in this engine. We run antifreeze. And that's because when you want to drain it out, it's very difficult to actually get all of the water out of the liners, out of all the different passages that are inside the engine. And so for that reason, we run antifreeze through it. It prevents corrosion inside the engine. Though there are engines that are 80 years old, they've been running fresh water, they're fine. So the real big reason for running the antifreeze is so that it doesn't freeze. So, went over here, and the engine running video, I brought this up here. So here's this bucket. This bucket you can see is full of antifreeze, and that's the fresh water pump. So that drips all the time. And this here is the raw water pump, and that only drips for, I would say, about a week after we're done running it. Far less if we go through and we drain all the water out. So there's a number of valves we open up to drain all of the raw water out of the engine, which then makes this stop dripping altogether. So when this bucket starts getting a little full, what I do is I come over here. So there's the overflow, and you see that funnel up there. We're gonna dump the antifreeze back down into this to keep the engine full of antifreeze. That's gray still. That's not okay.
It's on the list.
So did Ed finish this up?
Yes,
on
he
Tuesday?
did.
Cool.
I had the gray on the picture shelving for this side at least.
And
then started moving some stuff over.
Let's see. So what kind of stuff do we keep around? We got dryer assemblies. Okay. Is this for the Is this for the gyros for the gun sights?
Maybe.
Desiccant. The sunlight has not seen this thing since it left the factory in forever.
Synchros from the 50s. And these are from the 40s. You can make out. Just barely.
Synchro generator. Type 60 Mark II.
43, I think, or 4.
Something. I can't focus on that.
And various other oddball pieces. 1A.
Aircraft telescope. Oh.
Wrong way. Other way.
Bet you the camera can look through that. Oh, that's so cool. Well, remember, if you scrap it, it's scrapped forever.
Mm-hmm.
If you keep it around, maybe someday someone will say, hey, we're looking for this.
Exactly.
And that's how museum trades happen.
Just like Morse.
Depth charge test set. Good question. What do you get with your depth charge test set.
You get...
That's right.
Greenware.
How do you tell by that?
Big.
Oh, 1953. 1953.
That's how.
Huh?
That's how.
That's a pretty surefire way. What's this? We have Mackenzie Supply Company.
Look at these.
Target speed. And that's the kind of stuff that's not on the tour rep. And then all this is eventually going to look as nice and clean as that. That one, that's not going anywhere. Oh, this one.
You can go in.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, so whenever you wonder what's through the closed door, it's just more stuff, that's all. It's just more stuff. Spare parts. So due to space constraints, there was no way I was going to be able to record hooking up those gauge lines back up. But in a few words, they run from where they need to be, and then they come along the engine. They come down, they run underneath the, this is the oil filter for this engine here, and then they go to this gauge panel. You know, so this gauge panel tells you air pressure here, there, water pressure, water temperature, starting air, exhaust temperature, RPM, everything you need to safely run an engine. So that's one thing off the list that needs to be done. There is an excruciatingly long list of things that still need to be done before we can really give it a try. So if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. All of the updates on this sleeping giant are going to be posted here on this YouTube channel. And there will also be updates on the USS Slater Facebook page. But you're going to get far more detail in these videos. So thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we'll get you next week.